This very long video is going to help you make your spreadsheet, and it's going to help you explain to your customers what all this information means. This part up in here in yellow, you do not have to have that in your spreadsheet, but these are great explanations to keep handy when you make your presentation so you can tell people what this means. Also, this part in green, you don't have to have that in your spreadsheet. It's just for me to help you understand where this information comes from. Okay, the part in blue is the part you should have, the names of the items and this financial information over here in these columns. Let's take two examples. Twixies from Muriel. Okay, the cost to buy one what? We're going to buy one box of Twixies. How do I know how much that is? Well, I have to research it and ask the people in my group. I go to the Twixies part of the Muriel menu and I see that una caja de 10 is 100Q. So I can buy for 100Q, I can buy 2 boxes, let's say, and that means I'll be able to sell 20 Twixies. So my expense, this is my first formula, and that means I start with the equal sign. I'm going to take 100 times 2, and that makes 200. It cost me 200Q to buy 2 boxes of Twixies. I'm going to make that green real quick just to remind myself that that is money, and this is money also, so that's going to be green. Now, the price I want to sell, that takes research. It's called market research. You have to ask people what they would pay for Twixies. And I'm just going to guess for now and say people will pay 15Q for those Twixies. And I'll make that green so I remember that's money, and I'll change the quetzales later. Now, the income is how many we sold times the price that people paid. So, formula, we start with what? We start with the equal sign. We're going to sell them for 15Q each times 20 items. 2 boxes is 20 of them. I press return. That means people pay us 300Q if we sell all 20 of these. Profits, that means how much income you took in from the customers minus the price that we had to pay to get these. Now, we're going to assume you actually have to pay for things and you don't just take donations into your bake sale, that we really need to know what the profits are. So I take 300 minus what you paid, which is your expenses, 200. That means your profits are 100Q. Profit margin, that's a whole new concept. That's a percentage of the money you get to keep, not GERT to keep, but you get to keep from all the money the customers paid you. So that's a division problem. That's a ratio. Equal sign. They gave us, we get to keep 100Q divided by the 300Q that we took in. So the profit margin, we need to turn that into a percentage. And that comes out to be 33.33%. Okay, I'm going to take this button right here and decrease my decimals. I'm just going to clean some things up real quick. So this decimal goes down to that. And I told you we don't want to type in the Q's in these formulas. As soon as you type in a Q, it makes the formulas get messed up and nothing works. So don't mix up letters and numbers in your spreadsheets. Instead, you'll take this box right here and you go up to Format on this menu here, Number, go all the way over to Custom Currency down here, and then you can type in Q and it'll bring up Guatemala's currency, and we click there and we apply it. Now, we're going to apply it here, so I do a redo button, and this is money, so I do a redo button. This is money, and this is also money. So I do a redo button again. I don't like all these decimals. It's going to be confusing to people. So the way to get rid of those is I highlight all of these and I go to this button again. Remember that button? Decrease decimal places. hit it twice, and the decimals go away. Do that again right here. Okay, my spreadsheet is all cleaned up. I'm just going to change this font so they all match, and it all looks pretty great. So, one more thing before I move on to popcorn. The profit margin. The higher your profit margin, the better. So what I could play around with in my spreadsheet is I could change the price from 15, I could change it to 20. And now my profits go up, my income goes up, and my profit margin goes from 33% to 50%. That sounds great. But if I make my price too high and try to get too big of a profits, maybe I won't sell those 20 Twixies, because for 40Q, they can just go down the street to the actual Muriel and buy 4 of them for 40Q instead of buying 1 of them for 40Q. So the spreadsheet is wonderful because it lets you play around with prices and dial in just the right amount of quantity and prices for your customers. Okay, let's take an example of a bag of popcorn from La Torre. It's about 9Q. I would buy 2 of these bags of popcorn, and again, I think that would help me make about 12 servings to my customers. I can sell 12 bags of popcorn if I buy 2 bags of popcorn kernels. So my expenses is, again, equal sign, this number here, 9 times this number here. Okay, do you see how the auto suggestion has highlighted that for me? And I press return. So 2 bags of popcorn is 18Q. The price I want to sell this bag of popcorn is a nice low price of 10Q. It'll be one of my cheapest items. That means if I sell it for 10Q, I'm multiplying 10Q times 12 bags of popcorn sold for 120Q. That means my profits are going to be very big. It's going to be the income, 120, minus the expenses. So out of my 120, I get to keep 102. Is that going to be a higher profit margin than 33%? Let's find out. Equal sign, 102 divided by 120. That's a profit margin, not 1. It's a profit margin. I need to bring out some decimals. A profit margin of 85% and format as a percent. Whoops, take away those decimals again. Bloop, bloop. And here's a shortcut for getting all these to look the same. I highlight one of these numbers. I go to the paintbrush, and whatever I click on, it should highlight it and change it to green. Okay, I highlight here, and I hit redo that formatting. And one more time, I go here, and I do redo that formatting. So, in summary, my popcorn is not a sweet treat, but for only 18Q, I could potentially make 102Q, or 85% of the money I take in is profits, assuming that you don't have to buy a popcorn popper, pay for electricity, and things like that. So the question becomes, which foods do you sell? Well, we need to know what customers actually want. What customers actually want to eat, and then how much would customers actually pay for this? Not just some made-up number, but what do they actually pay? I want to see all these details in your spreadsheet and in your presentation. I hope this video has helped. Thank you.